Hello, and thank you for tuning into this episode of Animals and Ames. My name is Ron Edwards. I'm the Animal Control Supervisor here for the Ames Animal Shelter and Animal Control Program. Today, Abby is going to show us some amazing feline guests that we have here at the shelter that are from the Creston Animal Shelter. The director there is Michael, and she is one of the most caring and compassionate people when it comes to helping people and pets. So we're so proud to partner with Michael. Again, she's just an amazing person. I met her last night to transfer these cats into our shelter. We brought in 7 total from their facility. They're a very small shelter and desperately needed some extra cage space, as a lot of shelters are struggling right now with the amount of animals coming in. And actually, Abby, who's going to be showing you the cats, I want to thank her and all of our team for the amazing adoptions we've done lately. We have just been slammed with adopters applying for these animals. They've been great homes and so happy to make those perfect matches. So let's meet these kitties today, and we have others that you'll see on our website. But let's meet Abby and some new kitties.
All right, and our first guest today is Colby. Colby is about 9 to 10 months old. He is a neutered male, recent transfer from the Creston Animal Rescue Effort in Creston, Iowa. And he came to them as a stray. And they described him as being very fun, very sweet. He does great with dogs. He can be with cats, but he's a little overzealous. So they said that he would sometimes tackle the other cats and have to go to a timeout from time to time. So probably would do well with another active cat in a large home where there is space to get away from each other as needed. Probably would do well with children, would like a more active home. And you guys can't tell now, but he is purring right now. Even with the lights and the cameras and everything, he is just an absolute sweetie pie. We're still getting to know more details about him and his personality and everything, but from what they told us, it sounds like he's going to be a really fun cat for most people, especially if you have a dog that maybe you don't want another dog, but maybe a cat would be a good companion for your dog. He'd be really great in that situation. It doesn't hurt that he's absolutely beautiful. He's got this medium hair coat that probably won't get matted too much, so won't require a whole lot of upkeep on your end, but he's got all the prettiness that comes with having that long hair. So if you're interested in adopting Colby, you can submit an application on our website at amesanimalshelter.org, and we will process your application and schedule you a time to come in and meet him. All right, and our next guest today is Rose. Rose is a very sweet young cat, probably about a year old. She is another transfer from Creston, and you'll notice Rose has something kind of unique with her ears, and that is that her left ear has been what we call ear-tipped. So the Creston shelter is very, very small. They can only house a small number of animals, but they do try to do things in their community to help with overpopulation. And so one of the things that they do is they do something called TNR, which stands for trap, neuter, return, or trap, neuter, release. You might have heard that term too. And it's what they do to manage large colonies of cats. Cats that are already living outdoors, have food sources established, families that care for them. If they can't physically take them in, at least they're spaying and neutering them to keep them from continuing to produce more cats. So Rose was part of a colony that got Creston Shelter involved and got them all spayed and neutered. So she was spayed through that program, and what they do is they notch their ears like this. Well, sometimes it'll be a notch, sometimes it'll be they take the whole tip off, and that way you can see visually, like this cat has already been spayed or neutered. We don't have to catch them again. So they did that for Rose. She disappeared from the colony. Her caretaker noticed that she had been missing for 3 days. And when she came back, she had a limp to her and needed some medical care. And Rose was just so sweet and so loving that the person who was her caretaker, or the colony's caretaker essentially, reached out to the Creston shelter and said, can she just try and find an indoor home? Because she got hurt and she just seems like she'd like to be an indoor cat. So TNR and colony management is, kind of a gray area on who you let stay out and who you bring in. And so sometimes there's the occasional cat like Rose that just is really better suited to being in an indoor home. So they brought her in and did that. She's very, very sweet. She does not seem to mind other cats at all, which is very typical for cats that live in colonies. They usually, even if they're feral, they hate humans, or not even hate, they're just scared of humans. They typically do well with cats, but clearly Rose Girl does great with people too. We have not tested her with a dog yet, but we will. If someone applies to adopt her who has a dog, we will test her with dogs. And based on how sweet and easygoing she is, considering she hasn't even been here for 24 hours, I would say kids would do well with her. Look at her, she's just being an absolute doll. Very, very sweet. And our general rule of thumb with kids is as long as the kids are respectful of the cat. So I can't guarantee that if a kid's picking her up and manhandling her that she'll go for it all the time, but I also wouldn't be surprised if she has more tolerance than most cats. So if you are interested in adopting Miss Rose, reach out to us through an adoption application and we'll schedule you a time to come in and meet her. All right, and our next guest is Timber. She seems a little bit more shy than Colby and Rose were, but that kind of makes sense with her story. She came to the Creston shelter as a stray. She had been running around one of the campgrounds for a while. I think that's why they named her Timber. She is about 10 to 11 months old. It took them a little while to get her comfortable enough with humans that they could catch her. So she was a little bit of a project for them, but as you can see, she came around really well. Don't block the microphone, honey. There we go. She does seem to do really well with people. She does okay with cats. She's a little bit more docile in her play. Actually, they said Colby, the orange cat who came and was on the show first, kind of would gang up on her a little bit. She did really well, but she's a little bit more docile in her play, but definitely can be with other cats. Hasn't been tested with dogs, but of course, if someone was interested in her and had a dog, we would do that. Children, I'm not entirely sure. We're still kind of getting to know her. She seems really sweet. She probably would do okay with older kids. I probably wouldn't have her with children who are young or don't have any prior cat experience. But for how sweet she is, considering she, had been running around some campgrounds, I think she would do well in a lot of home situations. I can't remember if I said she's about 10 to 11 months old. She is spayed. So she's ready for adoption and ready to find a home. And you're so sweet. Like I said, we're still kind of getting to know them. They haven't even been here for 24 hours yet, but just this little bit of way she's acting, I think she's going to do well in most homes. Might need a little bit of a quiet environment or a little bit of patience at first, but even in here with all this stuff going on, she's doing pretty well. So if you are interested in Timber, fill out an application on our website. Alrighty, and our last guests today are 2 kittens out of a group of 4 that are our last set of animals that we transferred over from the Creston Animal Rescue effort. These girls were born, I believe, May 12th to a feral cat in the Creston shelter. So the mom gave birth in the shelter, nursed the kittens, and then once the kittens were weaned, mom was spayed and sent out to probably the same area that she came from, part of that TNR we talked about with Timber, or with Rose, sorry. But the kittens were socialized and able to stay and get adopted out. So they're a group of 4. They are named Merlina and Marissa, and them and their 2 brothers are named after the DeFranco family singer. So I think the other brother's name is Benny, and I can't remember the other one's name. So the other 2 are orange boys. So these guys are available for adoption. We've gotten a lot of kittens in this year, like most shelters. Most shelters were absolutely overwhelmed with kittens this year. So kitten season does tend to start to come to a close around September and October. The mama kitties, their cycle is all kind of based on the weather. So as it starts to cool down, they stop having babies. So these may be some of the last chunk of kittens we will have this year. So they obviously all get along well with each other. I highly encourage you, if you don't already have a cat, if you're adopting a kitten, to get a litter mate for them. That's not me just trying to pawn off 2 kittens, although going down 2 kittens instead of 1 is always nice for our caretakers. But really it helps a lot with their ability to have someone to play with. They don't get into as much trouble when there's 2 of them. They can play together and keep each other entertained and out of trouble. You do have double the food and double the vet bills, so something to keep in mind, but their need for you is a little bit less because they have a companion all the time. And honestly, it's one of the things that's great about cats is that they don't need us to take them out to go to the bathroom several times a day and that kind of thing. So people who have cats tend to have a busier lifestyle, and so them having a companion is always really nice for them. And these 2 ladies, you can tell they're really sweet. The Creston shelter, they are teeny tiny. So the fact that they are this well socialized and sweet and easygoing says a lot about the care and time and effort that they put into their animals there. So like I said, they are a teeny tiny little shelter, but they do really good work there. Kind of like us, we're not very big, but we work really hard to make sure our animals are well cared for. So these 2 ladies and their 2 orange brother siblings are available for adoption now. Like with everyone else, fill out an application on our website. We will get you all pre-approved, and then we will reach out to you to schedule you a time to come down and meet them one-on-one.
Well, that's our show. And again, I want to thank the Creston Animal Rescue Effort Care for partnering with us. We're so proud to partner with you guys, and we'll continue to work with you to help save lives. These are just a sample of the amazing animals that need help and need to be in forever homes and not sitting in animal shelters. So again, want to thank Michael for her work and her effort in contacting us anytime they need help. So make sure you check out all of our animals at amesanimalshelter.org. That website is updated every 30 minutes, so you can always see in real time animals that are available for adoption. Our adoption process is right there on the website. You can apply online. We are scheduling all appointments for adoptions, so you need to make sure you complete an adoption application first, and then we will get you in here once the application's approved and have you meet that special critter that you're interested in adopting. So I want to thank everybody for watching and for your support. Thank you.